We going straight into chapter 6. I don't even get to choose a character. Alright, now just who are you? Hey, stop. Keats, she'll get away. Tisk. What's this way? Ellen, why here? Yes, I see. She never disappeared. She was here all the time. Is the hag here? I don't know. Oh well. It seems that it won't be long before the mystery is fully solved.
You! No! Ellen. Ellen.
Now I finally understand your true intent. Why you came to this village in the first place.
Please, help my daughter.
You know, I admit I did not think about Ellen's mom. Which is very interesting because I definitely made the connection that the hag looks like Ellen. Why wouldn't I think about Ellen's mom? It brings up more questions than one would like. Like, for example, why is she here? Which I'm sure we'll get the answer to that. The real question that we need to answer is, why is she dressed up in some rags, running around killing people, and hiding in the henge? This is Doolin. Oh, okay. Cecilia, don't you ever get lonely, 'cause you and your mom never see each other? Not really. I know my mom loves me, even if she is far away. One day I'm going to work overseas, just like she does. You should be a painter, Cecilia, then travel the world and paint. You're wicked at it. Oh, Herb, that would be brilliant. Are you finished drawing yet? Don't forget to make me look cool. I'm going to be a writer, just like my dad. Well, I think you'll turn out something like this. Finished? Come on, let me see. I want to see, too. Probably whack. I'm starting to get it. This is Doolin's past. Definitely the Netherworld. So is this where Ellen landed? Well, it looks like the two kids went off toward the Lighthouse Cape. You know, I'm looking at this lighthouse and I don't see a cape on it. Throwing that out there. Bad joke, I know. Cecilia, what did you put inside? A picture of the coast. Remember how pretty it was? Like an entrance opened up leading right into the ocean. I want to remember that always, even after I grow up. I put in my medical records. I'm sick of just being sick. Yeah. Man. That's, to quote Sinesis, that's a mood. Being sick of being sick? Yo. Picture perfect village, but things can't stay peaceful here forever. I wonder, what's the date? Cecilia, where are you? Celia. Today's the festival of Samhain. Where did she go? Hey. This is the henge. Cecilia was gravely wounded inside the henge, which means events are unfolding in there at this very moment. Oh no, Cecilia, Cecilia. You have to calm down, Herb. Let's have a look. We have to get her out of here now. She'll die. My God, this is grave indeed. Good God, man. And Cecilia was taken to the church. This is where the tragedy begins, but Cecilia would only awaken days later. What? Are you certain? It's the truth. Harriet told me. Why? Why? No. Where's Cecilia now? Where is she? She left the clinic this morning. I imagine she's now at home. Whoa, many whelps. Kind of question if this is actually hitting anything. Boy, Dante coming at you like a train. Choo choo, another track. Uh-oh. Dante's back with some music. Hey, know the other? I saw you were streaming Wolverine. And I saw in your stream title it said 17 plus. And when I went to your stream, it said mature content. Do you want to go into this stream? And I was like, huh. I thought No the Otter was not mature content. Thought that was interesting. See, you're branching out a little bit. Irv, let's play. And don't you knock? You killed Herv. Herv, wow, you little witch, give him back. You killed him. Killed Herv. He's dead. You little, I'll kill you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh no, what have we done? Regine, you must leave the village. But I can't. You must. You must go. What about you? You must survive. At all costs. Right, this is where Herv's father falls to his death. I'm greatly looking forward to Black Friday this week because I am planning to make some beat purchases. Well, like not I'm buying beats, but I'm buying materials that I can use to make more beats. This is what I was afraid of. I just have to kill this guy. remember how to fight these guys? Let's try some crush. There we go. I'll get to that in a second. A lot of text. I am dying. That can't be it. That's it? Wow. Indeed. You're not mature commentary still, but of course, you keep things pretty professional and educational. Given what you do is a neurodivergent advocate, and you want to present yourself there overall. The game, though, is absolutely not PG-13. A lot of blood and some language. It's a 2000s game, all right, with the over-the-top deaths. Really? For Wolverine? Interesting. Wolverine game was voted in by the community, you believe. Honestly, one of the greatest Marvel games in your opinion. Came out of the 360 and PlayStation 3 era. It being voted by the community is an interesting choice. I would not have expected that. I guess the community votes are just like a 1 day kind of thing. You play the game for a day and then they have to vote for the game again. Is that how it works? Because I know of a streamer. I don't watch the streamer specifically, but They do some interesting things with their spreadsheets in regards to the games, and they have a similar system. I think their name is Marsted or Marston. I think it's Marsted, where they have like a community voting function, and you have to put in so many points to have the streamer continue playing the game, till completion and things like that. It's very, very, very interesting. Hey, lovely bibliophile. Thank you very much for the 21 months. So close to Thanksgiving. Any special plans? I am working on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. What did you do? What did you do to Herv? Please. Please. Why, what have you done, little witch? Bring him back. Bring my Herv back. The hag strikes. Mother. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Shush. My darling. I will also clarify, lovely bibliophile, that I am working on Thanksgiving voluntarily. Holidays for me are just a regular old day. I have no plans to do anything on Thanksgiving. I'm not going anywhere on Thanksgiving. I'm not cooking anything on Thanksgiving. I'm not inviting anybody to my house for Thanksgiving. It's just another day. And my job is offering a raffle for $700, and it tiers down from there to lower amounts of money. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get myself $700. I don't think I'm going to win, the $700, but I'm gonna try. So here it is, the hut Ellen is using. Does something happen here? And I'll also throw it out there that me working is a very different kind of working than like other people might associate with working. I work from home and I have like a metric quota that I have to meet. And, sometimes meeting that quota can happen in 2 hours. Sometimes it can happen in 5 hours. But in, I would say, like 99% of the circumstances, I am finishing my quota before my shift ends. So how I like to describe it is I work a part-time job for full-time pay. It is great. Until the job gives me more stuff to do, which I have been asking for more stuff to do. That's how it's just gonna have to be. It's way better than the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, for sure. That thing is garbage. I haven't seen too many X-Men movies myself. I think I've mentioned this before. X-Men is one of those things where my mom would watch that a ton of times, and I never really got into X-Men in the same way. So I haven't seen too many of the movies. So technically, the X-Men Origins Wolverine game was developed before the movie, and not with much knowledge of how the movie was going to play out. Ironically enough, given the movie was a dumpster fire, the game is way better than the movie because of that. It is very gory and bloody, yeah. Wolverine sticks a guy's head in some helicopter blades at one point. Wow. But the thing is, Wolverine and his backstory is not PG when it comes down to it. Sure, I just like when I think of Wolverine, I just don't the idea of sticking a guy's head into helicopter blades, like that doesn't just come to mind to me. Especially in his X-Men days, maybe pre-X-Men. Maybe he's a little more raw and gritty. Please, I really need to know. We're pals, aren't we? No. I don't know anything. Yes, but you saw something. I know what happened at the church. You want me to keep that secret, don't you? No. Earth. How did you get inside the ruins? I want to meet the fairies too. Then you better help me here. What did you see? Somebody. Oh, wait. Cecilia. Hello? Cecilia. After killing Ronaldo, this is where you hid your beloved daughter. Please come out. But oddly, she was not to be found. Where could little Cecilia have gone to? Oh. Ryan threatened your daughter and she ran away, and thus began a new tragedy. But as for me, I'm just an onlooker. Cecilia. Fantastic dialogue coming from the hag. Cecilia. Oh. Cecilia. Oh. That's right. At this point, someone killed Ryan. Seems to be locked. If anything, Ryan was killed here, I'm sure of it. Okay, yeah, but I don't know where he was killed. Ugh, this looks annoying. I think I have to kill you just to be safe. Apparently you can just take damage. I didn't realize that. So if anything, there's a that is a big part of why the movie failed, since it chose to stay within the PG-13 zone, much to the detriment, or to its detriment. Deadpool and Gambit were also both butchered in that movie. I'm okay. I need to say this in a very specific way, because what I'm about to say is like completely wrong. I feel like a movie's rating does not influence how good that movie will be. Now, granted, you know, if you were going to go see a rated G Wolverine movie, that would certainly build up a lot of skepticism. And I'm certain it wouldn't work. So there's definitely some reasonings that need to be, like qualifiers, perhaps. Like there's a certain minimum bar, but if X-Men can be on Saturday morning cartoons, I feel like you can be successful with a PG or PG-13 Wolverine movie. It just has to have the proper building blocks to make it good. Good script, good acting, good direction from the director and stuff like that. Stop. Don't run away. No. I don't know. Stop it. Ooh. That little piano moment, like the doo 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 doo, reminds me of a Jay-Z song. I don't listen to Jay-Z, so I don't know what the track is called, unfortunately. But that's what I'm reminded of. I'm gonna save here, and then I'm gonna check on this race. It looks like I don't think they're in the dungeon. Oh, it looks like they're doing splits. Let me just double check. Yeah, they're doing splits. All right. We can continue playing. I'm gonna mark here though. Mother, I'm scared. Where are we? It's okay. No one will find you here. Stay here until I come back. Darling, I'll be back right away. No, Mother, don't go. Mother, I'm sorry. I just... Irv. Hush, Cecilia. Don't cry. You'll be okay. I was about to say, if you say something about lullaby, we're done. You did nothing wrong. You're my little angel. Hey, 0-90. Here, Cecilia prayed, and her friend and 2 villagers died. No clear way to piece together cause and effect. She was too young to, after all. Cecilia ended up blaming herself. And the terrible fear of ever being brought back there again. The game is good because it embraces the savagery of Wolverine and the R-rated sense of how he became Wolverine, being tortured in the Weapon X program, having every bone in his every bone of his individually coated in adamantium, getting his memory wiped, getting taken back to the tank, and the process repeating so much he doesn't know what's real and what's not. With how many times his memory has been tampered with. I need to capture that one. I was afraid of this. Alright, let's capture you. Where's my... this person? I guess this is the same guy. Gotta be a better earthquake than that. Earthquake sucks. Yeah, technically this all takes place before he actually joins the X-Men. Forget the time period exactly, but you think the Vietnam War. At this point, Wolverine had already lived for 300 years and has been been in many major wars and historical events because of that. He's living out in Canada in the game when Sabretooth comes and kills his wife, leading him to wanting to go into the Weapon X program and try to stop him. But of course, it's not what he thinks. In a world. But even when Wolverine joins the X-Men, he doesn't lose his knack for killing people in the most brutal ways. There's a comic called Wolverine Enemy of State that is just him being brainwashed by a clan of ninja he previously worked with in Japan, and he has turned against most of the heroes, killing the Fantastic Four, Hulk, She-Hulk, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America. Yeah, that was more like a side quest, though. You know, like, or not a side quest, but like an alternate universe, and not really, what I guess people would typically like. He was brainwashed by a ninja clan, and then he killed people that, you know, are obviously still around after the comic. So it was like a side adventure, like a what if type of thing, I guess is what I'm trying to convey. I'm not familiar with Wolverine, but from my perspective, I feel like Wolverine's popularity occurred because of the X-Men. And if that is true, it feels to me that the brutality of Wolverine is something that people came to like about him afterwards, if that makes sense. Now, if I'm wrong, then, you know, what do I know? I'm just spitting. Herv. First Herv's father, then Ryan, all because of me. Why must people die? Why must people grieve and hate one another? What would make the world better? Where did things go wrong? I only wanted to save Herv. Hello? Who's that? Who ringing my doorbell? Yo, there's people who visit my house and they knock on the door. I have a doorbell. Ring the doorbell, sucker. This is where she was. Imagine that. Right where her mother told her to wait. Keats. There's no place for a lady. The person who cares for you asked me to come, to rescue you. Asked you to rescue me. But who? You should find out for yourself. Okay. A little confused right now. Keats is in chapter 5? Wasn't my previous save him in chapter 6? Am I tripping? I must be tripping. I don't even know how to play Ellen anymore. It's been so long. Man, it's been forever. So my mother is waiting for me. Yes, there may still be time. Your life has been sadder than others, but not a bad life. Now you have to find your own way out, overcome your trauma. All right. Okay. I think this is where I'm going to wrap it up for today. Play it safe. Play it safe. Remember, Race to World First is still going on. Oh, I gotta do that. There's a Steam sale coming up in, an hour, 45 minutes. So, throwing that out there. Maybe some people will find some games that they really want to play. I'll catch up on chat, though. Technically, Wolverine appeared in an issue of The Incredible Hulk initially, where he fought the Hulk. He later joined the X-Men. You would say most people, comic book-wise anyway, learned to like him there. I think his origin is explained later in comics, when he got his own series, and they try to translate that on the movie, of course, but it's better reflected in the game. The makers of the game were clearly more familiar with the comics, and such. You fight a Sentinel in there. But Wolverine has been a slasher-type character since the 80s, when he got his own line of comics. You can see why people aren't as familiar with his comic book origin. Might be shocked to see him stabbing people through their brain matter and shish kebabbing them on a bridge, though. Well, it's not necessarily that. The thought I was trying to convey is that people know that Wolverine has been through some stuff, and people know that he's had a violent history. But if the large what's the right way to say it? It's like if most people's exposure to Wolverine was through the X-Men, both as like a first stepping point into it, but also maybe their first time seeing the character. And when I say first stepping point, I mean, like you say that there was an Incredible Hulk, well, he was there, but how much was he really doing in there? Was he killing people? Was he shish kebabbing people and all that other stuff? That doesn't really sound like a Hulk comic, so I imagine there wasn't anything like that in there. But I don't know. But his demeanor, his persona, his style, everything about Wolverine seems to come from his X-Men days, from the perspective of, we'll just say, people in my example. So that the idea that he could do those things is not outside of their mindset, but it is slightly removed from how they would view the character. So in some ways, you could actually look at it and say rated R Wolverine is less in character than PG-13 Wolverine, just because Wolverine is effectively X-Men in the sense of like what the X-Men are doing, Wolverine's doing. And so that's how I was looking into it at first. But, you know, I never got into the X-Men comics. Wolverine got an R-rated movie, Logan, which was a big success. Well, what I'm trying to convey is that Wolverine, like, a movie's rating does not dictate how good that movie will be. You know, I'm not going to see a new Chronicles of Narnia movie because it's rated R, you know? And I'm not going to think that the movie's going to be better because it's rated R. I'm not going to watch a Pixar movie because suddenly it's PG-13. You know, like, that has no influence on how I view how good the movie will be, because like that encompasses the movie as a whole, but it doesn't tell you how good the movie is. It may give you some context about how the movie is constructed and what you could possibly expect. You know, there's not going to be any crazy decapitations and all this other crazy stuff. So maybe they've reined back in some aspects of characters, but that stuff doesn't define those characters. You don't go into, I'm going to use this example but you know, again, I'm ignorant in this, but you don't go into a Wolverine game and say, if this doesn't have blood, gore, and decapitations and dismemberment and all this stuff, it's a bad game. Like, you play the game, and what you're experiencing in the game is what you're going to determine it. You know, the gameplay, the story, the animations, the visuals, the graphics, the aesthetics, the dialogue, the writing, you know, like all of that stuff is so much more important than dismemberment. And I think this kind of happened with Star Wars Jedi what was that game? It's not Jedi Survivor, it's the one before that one. It's like the only one that I played. Jedi Knight, maybe? Star Wars Jedi Knight? I don't know. Star Wars Jedi something. Jedi Fallen Order. Yes, that one. There was a lot of talk about how that game did not have dismemberment and things like that. And people were disappointed in that aspect because that game is like slightly removed from Star Wars, because Star Wars has dismemberment and stuff like that. But just because someone doesn't cut off your arm with a lightsaber doesn't make the game any worse. You know, like, maybe it takes you out of immersion a little bit. You know, that's a per person thing. But the way I look at it is, you don't really take that into account when you consider it a good or a bad game. You know, you take in so many other things that are weighted so much more, and that's just like a tiny little footnote or a bullet point of like, oh yeah, you know, like, this thing I didn't enjoy, but it really didn't affect anything. At least for me, I guess. Or at least the way that I look at it. That's true. Dark Knight is PG-13, but still exceptional. Wow, The Dark Knight is a fantastic example, actually. I feel like rated R Batman movies are probably very in line with the Batman character. And that's it's a very interesting aspect because, you know, like Batman went through some stuff, and Batman can show you his dark side. You know, you don't necessarily have to see that dark side to get a good Batman movie or anything like that. So, just throwing that out there. Well, you threw that out there, and I got the alley-oop. That's fair. It's what goes into it, and how much you care is put in by the creators, not the rating. Yeah. It's what goes into the movie, and you know, I will say this is probably ludicrous for me, but I don't think you have to know the source material to create and when I say know the source material, I mean like be intimate or have intimate knowledge of it. I don't think you need to know the source material to create a good I want to say film, but I was trying to encompass TV with it as well, and even video games. You know, a piece of media. Yeah. I don't think you need to have an intimate knowledge of source material to create a good piece of media based off of that source material. I think the number one thing that the source material does is it allows you to make callbacks, references, and have like fan service for people that watch it. And that's great, but you know, once again, for me, it doesn't establish or build or make a film good. It just makes a good film better, or a not so good film still not so good. You know, it doesn't tip the scale, or even push it towards either end of the scale for me. But at the same time, that it could backfire a lot. You know, we did have Game of Thrones happen, so you know, your mileage will vary. Literally no Star Wars games have an M rating anyway. They're all rated like T. KOTOR, Force Unleashed, Battlefront. Find that to be a silly complaint from people. Well, the movies, like, you know, the movies are shooting people, and, you know, people lose hands and arms and legs and things like that. So, it's not in like an out of this world observation to be like, hey, you know, why aren't you doing this when this did that? Right? Now you want to play KOTOR again, except you can't stop yourself from min-maxing, so you always end up doing the same build. So replaying is much fun. I want to play Knights of the Old Republic as well. I have played it before, so I know what happens in there, but I haven't played the second one. And one of the reasons I've been not playing Knights of the Old Republic is because there's rumors of a remake, but like every couple of months, some news comes out about the remake that's like, oh, it's having trouble development, or oh, it's canceled. But it's like, I don't remember it ever being officially announced, so I'm not sure what to believe anymore. Even the recent Batman was PG-13, and you still did enjoy it. Robert Pattinson did well. I have no idea who that is. Sometimes they do stupid changes to lore, like Star Wars prequels with their midichlorians. Sure. Sure. I think most people's, or I think my interpretation of why people didn't like midichlorians is because they liked the mysticism and sort of the mystery of how the Force manifests. And there's never really been much science in Star Wars for 4, 5, and 6. It's been more about the voodoo aspect of it, this mysterious power that people can tug on to become powerful. And people like that. And people don't really like that they don't want that to shift to, you just have high midichlorian count. Like I get it. It wasn't a big deal for me, but you can choose to ignore that and just be like, yeah, this guy's powerful because he's just the bomb diggity. Maybe he's bomb diggity with midichlorians. I don't know. I do think the prequels did do some cool stuff though. It's not like every little bit of the prequels were not great. I like to describe the prequel Star Wars movies as I like them, but I don't think they're great movies or good movies. So that's where I sit with it. It was officially announced in the 2021 State of Play. Oh. I thought I remember seeing some sort of trailer for it, but I didn't realize, I didn't remember if it was real or something like that. So, okay. I will say that I haven't seen any official indication that it's been canceled. I've just been seeing rumors from a guy on a podcast who may or may not have credibility, but he's also just making offhand comments and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to put any weight into anything that's not official. Metroid Prime 4 is still not out. In the originals, it was becoming in tune with the Force of all things. Then it became, only these specific bloodlines can be strong with the Force. Well, right, but being in tune, you could look at the 4, 5, and 6, and you could see that not everybody could use the Force. There's some sort of special aspect to it, and it's not that they just get training. Certain characters just can't use the Force. Some characters can use the Force without thinking about it, but accidentally, or just other people can sense it. So there is some other external factor. It's not explained. It's a mystery, mysticism, and things like that. Most of the prequels are bad, but they did a couple good things. Yes, yeah, I would not disagree with that. There's some cool stuff. Look, Duel of the Fates, that is probably a top 2. Maybe you can give an argument for top 3 Star Wars songs. Okay. That and the battle for the Duel of Fates, like, come on. That Darth Maul fight, come on. That's some good stuff. Yeah, the prequels are overhated in your opinion. Good concepts, not the best execution. Not the worst thing ever, though. I don't know if I would say good concepts. I would say they had usable concepts. But I guess it's kind of hard to make that distinction, so. Yeah. Pod racing was cool. I'm actually one of the few people that didn't like the pod racing. Throw that out there. Kid Anakin wasn't bad. Teen Anakin, oof. I didn't like Kid Anakin. I didn't like Teen Anakin. I actually didn't like any of the Anakins. I don't think they approached that character in a compelling way. You will say the thing with Anakin is interesting, and you would say you could make the argument you can't really root for Jedi or Sith. Jedi kidnap Force-sensitive kids and train them to be Jedi, more or less. Sith tap into the dark force too much and are power-hungry. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's an example or two of the Jedi not necessarily asking for permission to get a like a disciple or something like that, but nothing comes off the top of my head. They kidnap Anakin. They got his mother's permission. Technically, that isn't his mom. I mean, it's his guardian. You know, I mean, can't just you can't just go to foster care and just grab some kid and be like, this kid is mine now. They're like, oh, hold on a second. Like, oh, no, you have to get permission from his mom. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. And, you know, like, I feel like I should, have a moment or two like this more, every so often. You know, where we can just, I don't have to play the game. I could just read chat, give my hot takes, because I never have anything good or nice or unreasonable to say. It's all just reasonable takes coming from here. You know? But yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific. We'll see. We'll probably try to knock through 2 hours or so. You know, Race to World First is going on. Today's also Taco Tuesday. I'm gonna get me some tacos. But yeah, I don't think I got anything else that I want to say. Anything crazy that's been happening. So, hopefully you find something on the Steam sale. Let me know tomorrow what you find. I'm out. Peace.